Okay, everybody, this is Dr. Harmon, and I'm going to get you set up for Monday. This is for Management 3603. I have a doctor's appointment Monday morning at 10:30 across the street. I think I'll get there in time for class, but on the chance that I don't, which I think is highly likely, I'm going to go ahead and this video cast will substitute for that first session we have. And then, of course, we have another virtual session on Wednesday, and then you have some lab and virtual work on Friday. So this will be one of those few times where we don't physically meet on a Monday. Obviously, we won't then a week from that because that'll be Labor Day. So this is for August the 28th. Okay, that Monday. Here's what I want you to do now. First of all, let me diminish this thing off so you don't see it. And I'm over at the OBU website, okay? And I'm going to log into Canvas. Now, there's a couple of ways I can do that. I can just put on the search button. The easiest way is just this little search button right here, okay? And then click Canvas. And then when you log into Canvas, it's just like logging into your OBU email, okay? I'm going to put in mine and then my password. Alrighty, sign in. Okay, and I have a dashboard. My dashboard is all the courses I'm teaching. Yours will be those courses you're teaching where the instructor is using Canvas. Okay, I'm going to come scrolling down here, and I'm going to find Management 3603, Introduction to Management Science. Click on that. Okay, so far so good. Now here we are. I'm at the home page, all right, and again, I'm just going to talk about how this is all kind of set up. These modules, okay, you can click on it. This is a whole set of materials that you have here, okay, and I have all. It's typical if you had class with me. I have a bunch of resources and things here for you that you can take a look at. And then here are course resources and policies, the ethics code, the syllabus attachment. I have a little link here on virtual class days in Management 3603. I'm going to click on it for just a second. And what you're going to find, sometimes it takes them a while to render, sometimes it doesn't. Okay? And this explains Virtual Friday will be basically taking an online exam. Virtual Wednesday is I'll post a screencast. It's a lecture, a lab session, and that we and I explain it all. You can read it faster. I can speak it to you. Okay. So let's go back over here to the modules. Okay, that we had open. And here's some resources I think are worth you seeing. Harvard Business Review, there's Stanford Insights and so forth. Now you're going to be seeing some things here that you don't normally see on your computer because I've got them added. I've got them hidden, excuse me, okay? These are the student data files, okay, that you'll be using with the textbook, the big blue one. Then you have that Data Smart text, and here is the link to the web page, and then there are the files that we'll be using. Okay, when we cover the stuff from that book, I have a thing for SAS Business 1 is overview, and then here are some things I'd ask you to do for Monday. And if we met physically Monday, I was going to make sure that you linked on them. This is how to use the Solver tool in Excel. Okay, there's a YouTube video. This is a PDF that talks about Microsoft Excel and how we do optimization. Okay, and this is Solver in Excel, Easy Excel, and this talks about the what-if analysis tools. Then here's something that I think is worthwhile, and these are business data roles. Okay. And let this PDF render. Sometimes you're going to find it's just better to download the thing. And I'm going to zoom this up just a little bit because it's a little easier for you to read and to see. But this is a guy at Duke University who talked about different skill sets in terms of data handling and ability to work with data. And the reason I wanted to tell you that, show you this, is so that you could see that by the time we're through here, okay, basically, you will have done everything, okay, that that basically makes you a data analyst. Okay, so the BISS courses that you take put you with the same skill set as a beginning business analyst, and then of course this management science course only helps your cause. That's there for you to take a look at, and like I said, sometimes it's easier just to download these, or quicker than to try to look at the renderings. And then I have a little video. Here's a YouTube video on how to make a transcript of a YouTube video. Okay, and I'll try to do settings in this that will allow you to use closed captioning if you want to, and create a transcript. Okay, so this is basically the same stuff I would have covered with you on Monday, but I want you to see this stuff, and for Monday I want you to go through this. So if you say, what would you want me to do? I want you to go through these tools, okay? And then here's a document that shows you all of the different resources for the course schedule. But I want to show you something up here. I'm going to scroll up to this area called the syllabus. It's kind of a misnomer, but you'll see it says course syllabus. And you'll notice this has all of the this has all of the assignments that are due and the date. Now now these are pretty, these are online. This thing, Nolan Plastics, okay? This is a case that we'll talk about, and I'll probably in a screencast, because we're not going to have we're not going to meet physically Monday, okay? I'll put that in the email too. But this is a case that's due by September 1st, and basically I will go through and show you. In fact, I'll have the solutions, and I'll talk about Nolan, that case. And then you can see we have these cases and these uploads. If you've had a course with me before, typically when I do something like this, I'll show you how it's done, etc. So, okay, now load up the solution to get the points for the workshop, okay, because I am using a workshop approach here. Again, the student files, the skeleton files are there, and you'll see this as I go through it, okay? But I wanted to get you acclimated. This is really the best place to go to see what's due, when it's due, that whole business, okay? Now, I'm going to go back here to the modules area, all right? And I have some information, and I want you to look through the first chapter or two of the book, in chapter 1 especially, because it talks about the approach that we use in management science. And management science is essentially about what we call optimization, trying to take and make the best we can with what we have to work with. And when you go in and you see and you use Solver, for example, okay, you're going to see those three things. So I'm going to come over here for just a second to a section called Files. Okay, and I'm going to search for Nolan. Okay, let's see if I can find Nolan Plastics. I may just have to put through here. Here's Nolan Key. That's what we want. And there, well, here's the Nolan key, all right? And I haven't published it yet, but when it comes time, I will publish it, okay? So it's unpublished, so you won't be able to see it in your files. But I'm gonna open it up, I'm gonna download it, and let you see what we're talking about in terms of optimization. In the Nolan case, this is one of the cases in your blue textbook, okay? And like I said, usually it's easier to download these than it is to try to open them up in rendering, okay? Okay. Now, for these cases, I'll ask you to take a skeleton file, okay, and do a little bit of work with it, and then I'll open up the solution and show you. Now, here we are, they ask us to use GoalSeek to obtain the fixed costs necessary to achieve break even. And we note that we produce 800 units at $12 each, selling price per unit. Now, I'll show you this for a minute, because when we work in management science and we talk about optimization, okay, we're looking at three things. First of all, we seek a goal. Goal seek, and I'm going to click over here on data. Okay, on the data file, and you'll see if you go over into data tools, what if analysis. Okay, and you click on that, you're going to see the scenario manager, goal seek, and a data table. Some of you remember, if you took 1123 with me when we did the data table, goal seek is a very simple little tool, and I'll just open it up, and we set a cell at some goal, okay, and then we choose the cell where we want that we want to set the goal for. Then we put the value in there, and then we change any cell that we need to. I'll share real quickly here. Let's say this is a net income. Okay. This is tax. Okay. Let's see this. Let's do something. This is, I'll do make it a lot easier. This is sales. Okay. And expenses. All right. And this is our net. Now I'm going to say that I've got, and I'm just going to keep it simple, 100 units in sales. I have, let's see, expenses of 40, and I'm put that in parentheses. So I'm subtract 40. Okay, and I'm just going to scroll down here, and then I'm going to go back over to home, and I'm going to click the auto sum. Okay, and where's Mr. Auto Sum? Yikes! There you go, up there in the edit, boom, and it's 60. Now I'm going to click on Goal Seek. I'll click data, the data tab. I'll come over here to what if analysis. I'll click Goal Seek, and I'm going to set the cell M16 to a value of, let's say my goal is to make a net of 67, okay? And we're going to do that by changing the cell for expenses, and let's see what we get. And it shows us the solution. It says if you want to get to 67, you're going to have to get the expenses to 33. Okay? Now I'm going to cancel that for just a minute. I'm going to use Goal Seek again. This time we're going to look at sales. I'm going to click What If, Goal Seek, and I'm going to set the cell. Okay? There it is, M16. And I want that to be, let's say I want it to be 95. By changing the cell for sales And we'll run that. And it says, okay, if you want to make 95, your sales will have to be 135. So this is just the first thing we do using goal seek. And here we're playing with one variable that impacts the others, okay? And so we use that to find the price per unit, all right? And here we are, and we're going to use the goal seek to obtain the fixed costs necessary to achieve break even, okay? So here's the fixed cost, okay? And the total cost is B3 times, B3 plus 2 times B12, okay? And that's the variable cost. The 2 is the variable cost. B3 is the fixed cost. And of course, we know that variable cost was fixed cost equals total cost. So we use the goal seek to find out, okay, if we're selling this stuff at 12 bucks a unit, what do we need? How many units do we need to produce? And we use the goal seek, and it gets us there. Okay, not a big deal there. Now we can do the same thing with break-even volume, and we can do the same thing if we have a profit goal. All right. Now, one of the other things I want to show you is you may have to. If you go into the lab at BBC, there's going to be a thing there about the VM server. You'll need to click on it, and when it asks you to put in the password, your password and username for that lab computer will be the number. Like if you're in lab H, it can be H19, H20, etc. That will be the password and the username. And once you do that into the VM server, okay, then you can go down to all programs, click that, and you'll see Access, Excel, etc. Okay, and I intended to show you that when we were in class Monday. If I didn't have this doctor's appointment at 10:30, now if I was confident I'd be there by 11, we'd have class, but I'm not. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for Monday just in case. That's why I'm doing this recording, and I'll tell you. And I'll explain the email to you about what, the whole business, okay? Now, there's another thing that I wanted to show you and talk about, which we would cover Monday, okay? And the textbooks, those are in the syllabus that are required. And when we go from goal seek, we go from that, and we can use. Next is the scenario manager, and the scenario manager lets me play with several variables, okay, to get a particular solution. All right, and we can do that. And so I want to go ahead and just show you real quickly a what if a scenario manager. And we're going to click Add, and I'm going to put base case. Okay, I'm going to call it base case by changing the cells, and I'm going to change the cell B5 and B12. Okay, and let's see. Let's do this. Let's set the cell. Let's play with the variable cost, which is going to be B5. Okay. And let's assume that that's that B5, and then we'll put in that's the variable cost per unit, and we'll put in the fixed cost per unit. But let's just do this in order. We're going to look at this variable fixed cost, which is B3. Then we're going to look at the variable cost, okay, which is B5. And we're going to look at the selling price, which would be B7. Okay. Now I've called this the base case because this is where we are right now in terms of a starting point. I'll click OK. And you'll see that these cell values appear. And those are the values that we have over there. It shows us, you'll see here, it shows us the cell reference and then the value, and I click OK. And then when I'm ready to see this, I'll click Show, and it's going to show me those. Now, I'm going to add a new scenario, okay? And this one will be fixed cost. And we have a base case. We're going to call this fixed cost best, okay? And we're going to call it that, and we'll click OK. And it's going to say, okay, in this case, all right, instead of a fixed cost of 3,000, let's say in a continuum of values, the fixed cost is $3,000. Is what we figure it will be somewhere in the average. Let's say that the fixed cost is going to be 2,000 here, and we'll click OK. And instead of being 3,000, it's $1,000 less. All right, and now we have this fixed cost, and we can click Show, and it will change it, and it will show us that difference. Now, our total cost revenues. So in this case, we have $6,000 of total profit if we have the best case on our fixed cost, and that is it's 2,000 instead of 3,000. I'm going to go back up here to base case, and I'm going to click Show, and then you see our total profit or loss is 5,000. I'm going to add another scenario, and I'm going to call this fixed cost worst. As you say, okay, doctor, I understand the fixed cost. This is the worst case scenario on this fixed cost. I'll click OK. Instead of 3,000, I'm going to put in 4,000. And then I'll click OK, and then I'll show it. And boom, and it shows us there our profit or loss. Okay? Now, if we want, we can get a summary report from all that. And remember, we did the base case so we know the starting point. And we just changed. We had changed just the fixed cost. Okay, I could work with any of these variables. As you can see, the scenario manager lets me work with multiple variables. Okay, I'm going to close this off for just a second. Okay, and then I'm going to use the solver. Okay, now I have solver installed on my machine, and let's talk first of all about how you would get it. If you're in the lab, remember you've got to do that login on the VMware. The username and the password is the number on the computer. Then go into all programs and find Microsoft Excel. Okay, now on Microsoft Excel, then click on File. Okay, and then come down, you'll see a thing called Options. And then you come down and you'll see a thing called Add-ins. All right, now anything that's active is going to be up here in Active Application Add-ins. As you can see, I have PowerPoint for Excel. I have the Solver add-in. And anything that's inactive is down here. If you have Solver down here, for example, you want to click on it and then click Go, and it will put it into the Active Application add-ins. Okay? So that's how you do it. Now, I'm going to click on this for just a minute. Now, look, we've been working with GoalSeek, but when I click on the Solver tool, I want you to see it. Solver lets us do the following things, and the textbook talks about this as well. Okay, so chapter 1 especially shows you this approach that we use in management science, where we're trying to optimize. We're trying to get the best result out of the resources, i.e. the constraints that we have. Now you'll notice up here we set an objective. It's called the objective function. Okay, and then you can see we have one of three choices in terms of our objective function. Okay, we want to minimize something, we want to maximize something, or we want to minimize something, or we have an exact target value. And then we choose a set of cells that the variables are changing cells. Okay, and then if we want to set up constraints, we add the constraints. Okay, and then we choose below here the type of solving method, and there are three of them: the simplex LP, that's linear programming. That assumes that variables tend to be linear in relationship. Okay, and then we have what we call the nonlinear. Okay, and there are some variables that the way they relate is in a linear fashion, curvilinear. For example, okay, total costs are curvilinear. They start, let's say, at a certain level. Imagine an XY graph, and then you have a drawing like a cup inside of it. Okay, and we know that with economies of scale, you can get production costs down to the lowest level possible, and then after a while they'll start to go up. Well, that's what we call a linear. But if they're not linear, then we have to use that GRG, and we'll get into that. And then they have a thing called evolutionary, and we'll get into that later in the course. But that's really all optimization is about. So I really want to encourage you to take the blue textbook, the Introduction to Management Science, and read the first couple of chapters and pay attention to the process that goes on there, okay, where we try to set an objective function, okay, and we decide we're going to minimize, we're going to maximize, or we're going to select a certain value. Then we choose the variable cells, those that need to be changed, and then we set some constraints. Let's say, for example, I have a plant, and my constraint is I can only operate so many hours a day, or I have a budget for labor, or I have a materials budget where one pigment, the bumper has to cost this much, the wheel has to cost this much, that type of thing. So what we're talking about. Constraints could also be about how much time it takes us to serve a customer, how much time it takes us to make the food if we're running a restaurant. And you're going to see that. And you'll see this over and over as I go through some of these lectures and these labs. And, we're just getting our feet wet with this idea of optimization, okay, by just simply using the goal seek. Okay, so that's the Nolan key, all right, and I'm going to close it off. And I want to say one thing too also, as you work with these files, always, always, always download them to your desktop, okay, save them to your desktop, then close them, and then open them back up. That way you won't experience the problems that you can have when you open up a file in the system and you don't save it anything. Because what happens is the security settings will make it impossible or difficult for you to do anything with that file or to save or keep it. So just click download, save it to your desktop, okay? And for example, this Nolan would be the one where you would upload it for that assignment that's Nolan Plastics, the assignment that's due on September 1st. Now you say, look, I appreciate you giving me showing me the solution, Dr. Harmon, and I know you'll make it available. I want to try it myself and play around with it. Fair enough. What you'll want to do then is go back over to the modules, okay? And it's going to be the easiest place to find that. And this is going to be course resources, all right? And we want to come down here to the and this will be the student data files, and it's a zip file, and it has the skeleton files for the management science textbook. Now we're also going to work through some stuff by a guy who is the CIO at MailChimp, and we're going to look at how to do some work with big data. This is something I've added in the course. I think you're going to find it pretty intriguing because we're going to be using some interesting functions in Excel, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And here are the Foreman files. Okay, so there and there's the student data files for that textbook. Okay, so you could try it. Now, here's the thing. If you know me and take a class from me, you know that when I talk about a workshop, what I mean is, for example, like Nolan Plastics, I'll show you the solution. Okay, you can upload that. You can try to do the work yourself and upload that. Okay, but I want you to try on these lab kinds of things like a Nolan Plastic. All right, I want you to at least try it. Okay, but just get it loaded up on time. That's all I care about. Okay, because if the solution's there and you've explained it, well, then you learn. Okay, so that's how I like to handle it. I just think it's easier for you to kind of see something and then reverse engineer it. Now, you can see I've got a thing on course schedule resources, and I want to talk about that. Click it open for a second, and this will show you the different places to find out, okay, well, what's due, okay? You've got the syllabus section, okay, where it lists all those. They also has the modules section. This is just like when if you took a course with me, we're in Moodle, where I had Moodle and I had week 1, week 2, same story there. I'll show you. In fact, we've been working in it. Okay, this is the getting started module. Here's module 0, and this is for 821, 23, 25. Okay, and this is using the resources for week 828. Use your Friday virtual class day to learn. Today's Friday about Microsoft Excel using the resources from the week of 828. So what I want you to do is to come in here and take a look at these resources, click on them. Here's Easy Excel. This is a link to tell you about Solver, and then the GRG nonlinear, and then Solver evolutionary, and Nolan Plastics, okay, upload here, okay. And then the key, as you can see, it's marked out. You see, I'm in instructor mode, you're in student mode, but you're seeing the instructor stuff, and I'll make that visible for you. Then you have a couple of exams due on the 1st of September. So if you're saying, okay, well then, Dr. Harmon, what is it you wanted me to do for Friday, August 25th? Here you be, okay? Now remember, we won't have class the 28th because of the doctor's appointment. And you can either look at this again on the 28th and you're good to go, okay? Or I will post something else that day. But I'm just not confident I'll get from the doctor to you at 11 o'clock, and I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to go ahead and have class. I'm going to save this video. I'll post it in the announcements, and I'll tell you that the Monday class, view this in lieu of being in class. Now, I want to talk to you for a moment. I sent everybody an email about Virtual Wednesday and how I'm handling these courses like in a hybrid fashion, all right? I want to close this off for just a minute. I'm getting started, okay? And let's see, I want to come down here and show you I have a thing on, let's see, here you are. Wednesdays and Fridays are virtual class days. Wednesday is a live screencast that's recorded. Here's what this means. On Wednesday at 11 o'clock, okay, I'm going to be streaming a live lecture using this screencast. Before that occurs, I'll send you a link so you can join me in the meeting. You can join me in the meeting from the computer labs if you want to, from your computer in your dorm room, wherever. Okay, you can listen in on your phone. and then I'll record that session and post it at YouTube, and I'll put the links. So the link for the invitation to that meeting on Wednesday, and then the recording will be in the announcements. I'll always put them over there and label them, okay? So that kind of should get you up to speed, and I'm going to save this video, and then I will send all of you an email and say, you need to go in the announcements and see the screencast for today and for Monday. And again, I would encourage you to take a look at these resources, okay? And the Nolan Plastics, you could see, it's unpublished. This is the place to upload the work. The key is unpublished, and again, play around with it a little bit and go from there. Let me see what else in here that might be a little bit different for you. Here are the announcements area, okay, and there's that message I sent everybody about the hybrid format, what we're doing. And then you're going to see this thing called assignments. You can click on it for just a minute. It will list everything where you're uploading a file, okay? You'll see this upload. So, and then I've got some, these are all file uploads, okay? Then they have a thing called quizzes. Click on that for a minute. And you'll see it shows you the date and when the thing's due and all that business. If you want to see everything that's due on a particular week, it's simple. Go click on syllabus, and you'll find it over there. There's also a thing called files, and I'm going to click on it. Of course, you're going to see some stuff that I've got hidden from you. But there are files. This is where files are. So you're going to see some things as we go through that I will be publishing, and I think the student data files are in here. I'm going to scroll down here to the student data files and keep going down here. There's the syllabus attachment, and I thought they ended up over here or in that area. If not, you can always go over to the module and look at it. And it's probably here. I'm probably just not seeing it. I'm still getting used to this feature. It's a fairly nice one, okay. But you're almost always going to want to take a look at the course resources area in that thing. Look up here and see if I have. If I've put anything in here. Here's the Foreman files. That's for that guy. And I don't know what I called it. Maybe student data files. But you can see I'm like you. I'm still kind of figuring out how this all fits together in terms of this piece over here. Okay. But I know they are indeed over in the modules area, and we'll go back to the modules. And as you come down, you see the OBU resources, and those are the student data files, and you'll want to download them. You can open that up, and you'll want to download them. It's a zip file. You see, it's going to give you troubles displaying it, so you want to go ahead and here's the stuff for the different chapters, and you just open up and find the file that you want. Okay. All right, my friends. I think that's about all that we need. And again, I will do a live stream cast on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. You don't have to be in the lab. You can be if you want to. If you want to be working at your dorm or whatever. And now, if you want to see the lab, now if you want and you can't make it 11 o'clock, or you say, well, if you're going to just record it, do I have to be there? No. I'll probably be recording it here from my office in Oklahoma City. And so, you know, you can join me at that time, or you can wait and see the recording. Okay? That's one of the nice advantages about this. And you should read that long message I gave you, or talk about this hybrid format and how easy it look. If you can get the same information you would if I'm standing there and you're sitting in the lab, okay, but it's recorded, okay, then you're in good shape. So I won't be in the lab on next Wednesday, okay. But I will be live online, and I'll send you the link to join me. And then when that meeting's over, the 50 minutes is done, then I'll save it and record it and put it at YouTube, so that if you can't join us at that time, at least later on that day or in the evening, you can take a look at it, okay? And I do appreciate that. Now, the point distribution, let's talk about that for just a minute. Got to think about participation, exams. I should have something in terms of the point distribution, and that may be in that syllabus. Let me find that for you real quickly, and I'll just do a Control F of the syllabus. Okay, and it's going to give me that, 4 of them. There's the syllabus attachment. And here's the syllabus for management 3603. I'll click on this for a second. And I'll download it. This will give you the point distribution right here, okay? And let me pop back up here for just a second. Here it is. And I have the exams. There are 12 the copies of the exams. Let me show that. It's under grading. And I'm so sorry about this. It's a little bit jumpy. Okay. In terms of homework and class workshops, there are 25 of them. There were 14 points. That's why I'll say, okay, this is the solution. Upload it. Because you learn something that you can try, okay? And as we get later in the course, where I feel like, well, you should have your feet under you, and some of those I'll go ahead and take a look at. Most of the time, you're either going to get full credit, or if you didn't turn it on time, you'll get a 0. And you need to see my policy on late assignments. There's really no excuse to be turning in late assignments. It's here for you to work on at any given time. Then I have exams from the Anderson text. Anderson is the Introduction to Management Science text. That's the big one. 15 of them. They have varying point values. Then there's a self-developed quiz from Anderson, okay? And there are some instructions on that, and that's worth 100 points. Then SAP Business 1, and then SAP Business 1 SAP Business 1 Part A, and then Part B. I have instructions for those. Those account for 50 points. Then the final exam, I have 2 points, 2 parts of it. Okay, it's 40 points, and then the final exam, part 2, self-developed quiz. And as you know, if you've taken exams with me, I'll split finals with me. I'll split them into those that are due at the start of the final exam period, those that are due at the end of the final exam period. And you can see my grading policies. Okay, so I'm going to diminish this down. Okay, and go back home. And again, there's the announcements. And, you know, I sent you guys that email a while ago today. Here's the announcement. I told you I posted the announcements. All right. And so when I do the live screencast for Wednesday, okay, I will before I do that, I'll schedule an appointment in Zoom, a meeting time, and then you'll get an email that shows you, where to go to join the meeting, what to click on in that business. You can do it off of a computer, you can do it on a phone, you can do it on a tablet. That's up to you. What is the most convenient? If you're in the lab, I would say this. You're at a bit of a disadvantage because the lab computers at BBC don't have audio capability, okay? So I'm going to try and make sure I always remember that when I upload it, I put in closed captions so you can at least read it, okay? Or maybe even get a transcript from it. All right, and look, you can see these videos as much as you want, as often as you want, okay? And so that'll be useful for you. My hunch would be, if you're going to go over there and do that, take your phone with you, okay? So you can listen, and it's a video. You can stop, replay, whatever you want to do. But again, I'll be streaming, and if you join me, fine. Now, if you join me and you have a webcam and a microphone, if I say anybody have any questions, you can always pop me a message, or you can unmute and say, hey, Dr. Harmon, I have a question. I want to talk about it. It's just like you'd be in the classroom. If you choose not to, if you choose to mute your video, that's fine. The screen gets a little bit crowded doing all that. But I think you're going to find once we get in this and get rolling, you're going to enjoy this format, okay? And you're going to like the fact that we're covering the material, but we're covering it in a more convenient way. And look, if you can play this over and over, that's better than you not only have heard the lecture, but you can hear it as much as you want, play it forward and backward, etc. Okay? Well, folks, that pretty much does it for me. And again, you'll use this for your lab Monday. Again, usually on Mondays, don't forget, we will meet physically. It's just this Monday that I won't. And then on the 4th of September, which is Labor Day, again, we will not meet. But I will record something for you, that will work us through. You say, okay, how do I keep up with everything that's going on? Well, I showed you the syllabus. It shows you where all the assignments are listed in detail. Okay? And then if you click on modules, this will show you. You can see this is getting started. And then here's modules 0 for 8 that week. Module 1 is that week of the 28th. Then module 2, and so forth. Okay. I appreciate your time, everybody, and I'll send you an email along with the invitation. So be on the lookout for it, and have a good one. I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to stop the recording and then end the meeting.